Welcome to my Talosbo C1 pole vacuum and demonstration video. This is the vacuum here. I've never used it. I've seen some videos on it, people using it in pretty disgusting looking pools and not really giving it a full shake. So I wanted to do a video myself and just show what it looks like being used in a normal case situation. Now my pool's not the biggest or anything by any means, but it is a little dirty. It's been sitting for about a week, so we're going to run it and see how it goes. This is where all your trash will be. It collects in this basket. We'll check that out later. There's a pre-filter in here that needs to be washed when you're finished. You just clean it with your garden hose, put it back in. You have all your modes here. You got your power button and your mode button. So we'll talk about all these later, but for now we're going to run it on the full mode, and then we'll come back and look at the app and see all the different things that you can do. This is supposed to cover 1,615 square feet, so my pool's nowhere near that. I just have a 12-foot pool. So let's go ahead and drop it in and test it out. Okay, so here's the pool, and you can see it's not super filthy, it's not super big. It's a typical backyard swimming pool. It's just a little 12-foot pool, oval pool. And you can see, I'm shooting this in the evening time, so you can hopefully see this a little better. Let's go ahead and start this thing up. I've got it here on my edge of the pool. We got to hold in the power button, and it beeps, and then we put it on full. And let's go ahead and drop it in the water, which feels counterintuitive, but this thing is supposed to sink, and then once it senses that it's in the water, it will actually come on and start doing its thing. So we'll do that, and then we'll set it to time lapse. Okay, I hear it. You can see the bubbles, which is typical. Hopefully that stops so we can get a clearer picture of what it's doing. So it's supposed to sit here and do this for like 30 seconds or so, and then it kind of takes off and starts doing its thing. Okay, in this case, it looks like it's getting started. But you can see what it's got to work with. You know, it's not very much, but this should be pretty typical for somebody who keeps their pool pretty clean. And it's climbing the walls. So I guess in full mode, you can climb the walls. There it goes. So like I say, this is my first time using this. So you're experiencing it as I'm experiencing it for the first time. So something, a little backyard pool like this should easily clean this. I'm expecting this to be pretty clean. So let's go ahead and check out what it's done so far. And actually you can see a track. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but it's over there. And there's like a little blue track here from the vinyl. You can actually see the track of it. All right, so let's go ahead and set this to a time lapse. We'll come back when it's finished and see how it did. Okay, so I wanted to just chime in real quick and give a little update on what we've got. We've probably about 20-30 minutes in, and the first thing I've noticed so far is that it kicks a lot of the stuff up, like right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a lot of grass, you know, little blades of grass, maybe little gnats and things like that that are in there. It's still doing its thing. I mean, I guess you could take a net and kind of sweep it out as it kicks the stuff up, but I don't know if a robotic skimmer would be the answer to this, but maybe not a big deal. But if we kind of look over here to where it's mostly been, which is on the right side, and then we look over here on the left side where there's still stuff all over the bottom, you can see what it's done. But honestly, so far it looks like, you know, there's still stuff on the bottom over here that you can see. So it's I would say it's kicking a lot of that bigger stuff up. So it's going to be interesting to see when this is all finished if it actually picks this stuff up, or does it just kick it up to the top and then eventually settles. I'm sure the stuff's going to settle again, but will it just kick it back up again? So we'll go on with the time lapse and we'll see how it does. Okay, you can see right here that it's actually caught on the intake here, and it just keeps spinning. So I imagine if it doesn't figure it out, that it'll just sit there and spin until it runs out of battery. Okay, I wanted to add another little part to this video, that the vacuum, where it goes onto the walls, it kind of wants to just stay on the walls. So what ends up happening is that this side of the pool is looking okay, but this side is still dirty. And that's because it can't get away from the right side of the pool long enough to clean this other side. So floor only seems to be the way to go. Okay, so I've set it to floor mode only because I wasn't getting anywhere with the floors and the walls, and it's just been kind of sitting there blowing bubbles for the last couple of minutes. It'll stop, and then it'll start blowing bubbles again. So I'm going to poke it. Eventually, there we go with this little net here. Let's see, and see if I can get it to get going. And now it starts moving, which is kind of weird. I've had this problem a few times already. Now maybe if you just set it to you know, one thing and set it in the pool, it'll probably do fine. But I've had two problems already. One with the app, and that being that the app causes it to disconnect like this right here, which is, it just seems like it's just sitting there blowing bubbles. So it looks like it just went about a foot or two, and now it'll stop, it'll start again, and then it doesn't do anything. So I don't know what that's about. The app caused this, it seemed like, once. Changing it to floor mode only seems to have caused it some kind of problem. It's moving around, but it's not really doing anything. It's like it's confused. So for the record, the only thing I did was switch it to floor mode, which you'd think you would be able to do. So the first thing on the fly, the app causing the problem, just the app itself, not changing anything on the app. The second thing was the intakes for the water. It got caught up on that. And the third thing now is putting it on floor only. It's just kind of been sitting and blowing bubbles for the last 5 minutes, and now it's going. So let's just take a moment. I mean, it seems like a lot of battery power just to sit and blow bubbles for 5 minutes. Let's see what it does, to see if it kind of figures itself out. But it looks like it's kind of doing its thing now. It hit the edge of the pool, it stopped, it didn't go up the walls. The wall mode, I mean, if you're somebody that has slimy walls or whatever, maybe run it every now and then, but I don't usually have that problem at all. So I'm going to exclusively probably use it only for floor mode. The reason why I'm highlighting anything right now is the fact that changing it seems to cause it to recalibrate or reconfigure or time out or something. But you can see what little bit of time I've been on here, which is over 3 minutes. It hasn't really done much since I've put it in floor mode. It's kind of going in circles at this point. And before I even started the video, we had about 2 to 3 minutes where it sat there and just blew bubbles while I waited to see if it was going to get going again. But it looks like it's figured itself out. It seems like if it lifts off the ground, it'll kind of stop until it hits the ground again, and then it starts again. So it seems like whenever it gets going a little bit, if the front end comes up, it senses that it's going in the air, and then it will stop. And that may be causing the issue in this case. I don't know. So let's go over here and see what it is doing. Let's do another quick look, but it actually has vacuumed that left side of the pool now somewhat. Overall, if we do a little check, you can see that this small pool, this very small pool, looks pretty good. So with stuff like this that's electronic and wireless and Bluetooth and all that, that is an issue potentially, is that it just quits working or it just doesn't do anything at all. So that is something I'm going to keep an eye out for. But it has done a good job with this small pool. But I can imagine a bigger pool, if this thing stops and takes its time, especially with this limited battery capability, that this could be an issue. Last time I checked, I had about 35% battery, so I'm probably at 25, 30 now. And honestly, it could stop now and I'd be pretty happy. Right now I'm in the app, and the strange thing I find about the app, because I was wanting to show some of the features of this product, is that once it's underwater, I can't connect to it via Bluetooth. So I have to wait on it to come out of the water whenever it's doing the sidewalls, which maybe it will do it here. It's actually caught on something. There it goes. It's connected. So here's your different cycles. If you just do the regular mode, it's 180 minutes, all the way down to cycle 4, which is probably what I'll do. Just 45 minutes, 48 hours it waits, 45 minutes, and it waits 48 hours, and day 3, 45 minutes. So I would probably do that on a small pool like this and just let it run every few days. That means you just charge it up, stick it in the pool, it'll run 45 minutes, it'll turn off for 48 hours, run 45 minutes, and so on. So that's pretty cool. There's your different cycles. There's your battery. Full mode, you'll probably see it disconnect here in just a second once it goes underwater. That's about it. Whenever you first set up your pool, you'll go through this screen. Of course, I've got vinyl and less than 3 feet. It's just a small outdoor, little outdoor above ground pool. So that's that. That's pretty much it. It's supposed to clean 1,615 square feet. I have nowhere near that. So for things like this is going to be awesome. For people with smaller pools, this thing might last longer because you don't have to run it as often. At the end of the video here in just a second, we'll go ahead and check out and see what the end result is. All right, so I came out here just a little bit ago and found the vacuum on the side of the pool conveniently and pulled it out. And as you can see, this is amazing. I mean, right here is about the worst of it. It's like where this wrinkle is. You can probably see my finger there. But everywhere else, it seems to have cleaned it very, very well. I mean, I'm impressed by this because I didn't have to get in there and do it. If you've ever tried to do this just with the, your little net, you just never get all of it. So, very impressed by that. So let's go ahead and head over and see what it picked up in the vacuum itself. Here is the vacuum. Oh yeah. So yeah, so this is like 1 week of stuff. Let's see if I can open this with one hand. All right, so I opened it off camera, and you can see that it picked up a bunch of crap. So I am super impressed with this. I think the other problems I was having with it, with the app and everything, I wouldn't let that discourage you, because, you know, that's the way most of these products are these days, that if you mess with them too much, they're kind of quirky. But this looks pretty good. So, you know what? I'm going to recommend it. I think you should get it. You just clean that out with your water hose, rinse that out, stick it back in your pool after you charge it, and you're ready to go again. And you can do it every, 4 days or whatever it was. I mean, why not? If you got a bigger pool, it might take a few times of doing this to get it to this level, but you saw how it was at the beginning. Definitely recommend. If you like the video, like it, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.